Okay, I think we're live. Hi guys, welcome back to another session from Fam Health. This is yet another live session. My name is Sanya, and today we have a very special guest with us. She's a nutritionist, she's a Pilates expert, and she's written the first fitness novel. So let's go straight to her and ask her. Hi Madhura. Madhura, how are you doing?
Yeah, Madhuri, yeah, I'm really good. I'm so excited to be here with Fam Health and with you, Sanya, and I'm really looking forward to share all the things that have sort of shaped my life and shaped my fitness journey, and I'm really excited about
All
doing
right,
that.
I want to know who stole my calories. Everything about it.
You want to know about who? Yeah, so that was really unique because when I was approached to write the book. Um, I think it all happened because I had written a column for the Mint on potatoes and how healthy they were. And I think Jaico saw that and they liked my writing style and they approached me to write the book. And then it was a regular thing, how to maintain calories and how much kitna khana chahiye, diabetes, health. And I said, why can't I put it together in a real life format? Because those days I was at my gym and I was listening to the emotional journeys of the people who were working out and taking my nutrition plans and doing Pilates with me. That was much bigger than the plan. And I
Yeah.
said, I must do a novel because the backstory for anybody who does a diet is way more important than the diet they follow, because that backstory really affects the diet and your health. So that's when I sort of made the uh, the novel on fitness. There are about 10 characters in it. My life purpose is somewhere in that book, Who Stole My Calories. It's available on Amazon right now.
Okay.
If anybody wants to discover what makes me tick as far as health is concerned, it's all there in that book. A lot of my personal story is also in the book. I mean, the way I started so late with health, and the whole understanding of how fascinating the human body is what keeps bringing back every time I go and have an extra glass of wine. Like coming back to how beautiful the human body is. I'm human, so of course, even I do these things now and again. But it's always a way of coming back because the body loves to be healthy. And if you sort of feed that intention to the body, it's going to show you the way.
Yeah. In fact, I saw your Instagram post and where you're working out and all. And it looks like you're so passionate about fitness and Pilates and everything. So let's just start with how did you get into fitness? I want to know your journey with Kathak and dance, everything, and how did you finally open your gym? So everything start from the very beginning.
Yeah, so I mean, this is really interesting. First time somebody is asking me to do a backstory, my backstory. I still remember that day. I think I was about 10 or 11 years old, and I think Zeenat Aman's the Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, that movie was released, and that wonderful or terrible song. It's a lovely song, I just started moving to it in front of my mother. And she couldn't believe her eyes, ears, and it was just like a very fluid, very intuitive kind of movement that came out. And then she put me into this something wrong with my internet connection. Yeah. She put me
It's fine.
into a dance. She put me into a dance academy, and from that dance academy, I played Baby Meera, Baby Ram, and all these huge dance musicals. And then finally, I went into Kathak and I took that really seriously. But come 16 or 17, I don't know, something happened in my adolescent journey. I didn't want to do Kathak anymore for some strange reason, because those days the dance was not that appreciated as it is today. But I switched to jazz ballet at that time. I know I was in Xavier's College, and this wonderful dance teacher, Farida Peder, she had studied at Pineapple in Australia. She came and started the whole jazz ballet journey for us. And I took that class and I got excited. And and after that, I got really into movement. And then there was this whole Jane Fonda thing. Jane Fonda is still like my, mentor and guru as far as form and technique is concerned, and as far as stretching is concerned. And I would religiously follow the Jane Fonda exercise routine, and that was all about college. So that's what happened then.
Okay.
And then there was a lull because I had babies, I had my two daughters, and I was a stay-at-home mom. And now when I was a stay-at-home mom, I had put on a ton of weight. And at that time, there was a family member who had these drop dead levels of diabetes. And believe me, I was, I had come from Xavier's College, and I was pretty much in the canteen, even though I was a mother. The mindset was, eating vada pav, eating samosa, having that beer, or, just chilling out and doing your work and chilling. That was the whole
Yeah.
medium. But I was a stay-at-home mom. So, and I saw this, first up journey of a family member who had dropped dead levels of diabetes. But in 6 months, this person got totally fine just on ghar ka khana and everyday exercise. And that's when I said, there is something to this story about what we eat and what we do, which can actually, totally change your diabetic profile. And in those days, almost 25 years ago, it wasn't known that you can not cure, but you can get diabetes in remission. Because the saying then was, once a diabetic, always a diabetic. So that's when I said, I want to study more, and I can stay at home, also look after my kids and study as well. So at that time, I looked around in Nirmala Niketan and in colleges in and around Mumbai, but I didn't have a science degree because I was a sociology graduate. So then I think yahoo.com, it had just come in, and I got into Yahoo, and I researched, and I found American Academy of Nutrition, and it was so fabulous. And fortunately I had my father who supported this every effort of mine. And I wrote that essay about why I want to become a nutritionist. It must be lurking around somewhere, but I think it was what I wrote in that essay that got me the admission. And believe me, when I did a lot, some of the textbooks are still here,
Yeah.
in the one that I got, but I couldn't even understand, two or three lines of what was there, what was written in those textbooks. But it was a lot of grit, and I think the thing that I wanted to know, how to use this our nutrition as a fuel for this fabulous body of ours, because our body, it can be changed. We can improve how we think, how we feel. It's infinite. The possibilities with the human body are infinite. And I learned that through this wonderful course that I did. And yeah, I was a straight A student. I got like a 4 GPA in that. And it wasn't like a typical internet program you have today. I had to really do a lot of research, a lot of critical thinking. And, like I had to read two different sets of books, which gave opposing views. Like one would say take calcium supplements, one would say don't. And I had to figure out why they said what they said. And it was a wonderful, wonderful journey.
All right.
And yeah,
I want to know
so that,
if there's something that you want to tell people who are lazy and they want to work, don't want to work out, or like don't want to eat healthy. Why is that people, especially women, I want to, stay at home women, housewives, homemakers, I want you to tell them, okay, why is it important to take care of themselves and how do they start doing it? How do they get the motivation to start? Are you comfortable in Hindi, by the way?
my Hindi is like, I try.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it. Let's do this answer in Hindi then.
अच्छा, तो ऐसे है कि अपनी बॉडी है ना, कार, इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द कार. नॉर्मली हम वी से गाड़ी के लिए जब फ्यूल आता है तो गाड़ी चलती है, एंड देन after 10 years गाड़ी, there is a depreciation, right? गाड़ी, by working out too much, the car gets there is a depreciated value. It's not as good as it was before. But with us when we work out, जब हम वर्कआउट करते हैं, जब हम अच्छे से खाना खाते हैं, हमारी बॉडी अप्रिशिएट होती है. It gets better, it gets younger, it gets more able, your mood is fabulous. और ये चेंजेस नहीं होंगे जब तक हम वर्कआउट और डाइट नहीं करेंगे. It's as simple as that. So
Yeah.
there's two things, just working out and exercise, that can change every aspect of our life, every single aspect. I mean, from your relationships, Imagine if you are bored and tired, Sham ko you're bored and tired, who will want to be with you?
Correct. Yeah.
But if you have the vivacity, vivaciousness of working out and energy, and you feel, oh, I still have so much to do, and I want to meet everybody, and I want to have so much fun. It's those little things that add up to that entire big picture. And it's not about losing weight.
I think
Rohit
your
said,
internet,
before I got into health and fitness, and understand,
it's perfect now. Yeah.
before understanding this beautiful human body, I would grumble every day. तो सुबह उठ के आई वुड से कि शाम तक, ओ माय गॉड, इतना सारा काम करना है, बच्चों को देखना है, इधर शॉपिंग करना है, मेड काम नहीं कर रही है, ये नहीं हो रहा है, वो दैट होल ग्रम्बलिंग एटीट्यूड, and life wasn't fun. And if I was asked to party in the evening, I said, oh god, no, I'm so bored and I'm so tired. And
That is
that
me right now. I feel like such an oldie because I'm like, no, I don't want to go out. I want to stay inside.
yeah, so when I switched to healthy eating and exercising, suddenly I found myself saying yes to the partying.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my god, this is the benefit, because when I have the fuel that each and every cell of my body needs, the sum is much, I mean the whole is much greater than the sum of the parts. There is an abstract energy. So when you study nutrition, the molecules break down, and an abstract power is released when the molecules break down. So that abstract power is really fueled by our intention to be healthy. I don't know if I'm making sense or am I going
Yeah.
over.
Okay. Okay. Let's go straight into like breakfast. I want to start with like breakfast only. There is a saying that says, "Okay, eat like a king in the morning and then like a pauper at night." How true is this? And is breakfast really the most important part, like most important meal of the day? Because usually
There's
people
a
are
lot
really
of
lazy when they're like going out and stuff. Was office जाने के लिए anything they'll make quickly and then just eat that and go. So how important is breakfast? Or if you could give us like a few examples कि क्या खाना चाहिए?
हाँ, तो ऐसे है कि eat like a king, and end your day like a pauper, makes sense for certain class of people. I mean, if you're just starting out, now you can do that. But yeah, and it all depends on your activity level. So if you're going to be really active first half of the morning, you really need to have that breakfast, and you're going to do a lot of mental work. So in the morning, I think poha with vegetables and egg, if you're eating egg, or poha with a lot of less poha, more vegetables, some egg, or if you're vegetarian, then some paneer. Or if you like to go the oats route, you can have oat upma with vegetables, and again a source of protein. It could, if you're vegetarian, you can have paneer or Greek yogurt, or you can have just 2 eggs in the morning. So if you are the sort of person who is going to be really active in the morning, and you're going to use your brain, and you're going to be physically active as well, then yes, that is the kind of breakfast we want to eat. I have been saying this now, especially after COVID, that Mother Nature ne jo khana banaya hai hamare liye, that is the khana we should put blindly on our table, on our plate. Okay.
Okay.
So that, after having done that, then your lunch again. There is a whole thing about gluten and all of this. Just forget about all that. Just have nice bharka white rice. You don't even need to have brown rice, because rice, if you take just 30 grams of rice, it becomes half a cup. So it's like popcorn. You hardly need anything. But when you sort of fry it and make it into biryani and a pulao, it becomes a brand new person. So we don't want to do that on a daily basis. You can do that, depending, once a week or once in 2 weeks or whatever that is. So you can have a rice again. You have to have a ton of vegetables. Breakfast se leke dinner tak at least 750 grams, minimum 500 grams, or like pre-COVID days, I was having 1 kg of vegetables every day with 5 different colors. I had made that on mantra. Is there in my book as well, because the vegetables trap the energy of the sun. They give you phytochemicals. They help to जो भी हम rice or chicken or paneer जो खाते हैं, उसकी whatever the energy is there in that, that comes alive with the vegetables. So, you know, nutrients work like families. Nutrients have to work like families. So you can have like rice with vegetable and a little bit of curry or again paneer ki sabzi and you know that kind of thing for lunch. And otherwise, if you want, if you're like a one, if you're working, then you can take like a nachni roti wrap, you know, and have that. Remember to chew your food really well. If we gulp our food, then it's all going to convert, it's not going to get digested and you're going to feel uncomfortable. And when things are not digested, they tend to convert to fat in the body. um, Tea time is a good time for fruit, like a nice fruit bowl would be lovely with a bowl of, you know, Greek yogurt and some almonds thrown in. That would be really nice. And dinner, again, you can have pretty similar, like you can have quinoa if you like the continental type of thing. You can have like a simple vegetable soup, a clear vegetable soup with quinoa and some fried fish, little bit lightly fried fish, and yeah, and dinner should ideally be at least a couple of hours now before bedtime.
Okay. Okay, my next question is, does one have to be skinny to be healthy? And why is that some people eat a lot and then don't gain any weight, and some people eat very little or just like smell food and gain weight? Because that's I'm the second part.
Okay, the smell food is really.
Yeah.
No, no, no. There is a concept of skinny fat also. So it's not about it's about your body composition, how much muscle you have, and how much less
Wow.
fat.
Yes, please flex for the camera. No one.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay, great. Yeah.
So how much more muscle you have and how much less fat, it's a question of your body composition. And if you're really skinny, then you know, and you also have like you also have more fat than muscle, then you're going to have low immunity, and skinny is not necessarily healthy. So let's put it like that.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, you have to have enough energy to see you through your days, to see you through your passion, to feel cheerful in the evening, so that you know you can enjoy yourself with your family and your friends. So you know that's the whole thing. And how less you say that I'm tired and I'm going to retire as well, those two words should not exist in your in anybody's dictionary. That's my opinion, personal opinion. Okay. Yeah, so whatever we are, you said, so why are different people, so it's a different genetic makeup. So you know there is a mesomorph who's a muscular type, there's an ectomorph who has a very high metabolic rate. I mean, that is the way he is genetically. Okay. And then there is the endomorph who puts on a lot of weight. So you know, once you identify what your body type is, you can actually change how you eat in terms of, you know, the macros and the micros, what proportion of each one you need for that kind of a body type to come to the kind of body you really want.
Yeah.
And
So
genetics are not an excuse. Genetics are not an excuse. They can be I mean, you, it's how you express your genes that makes all the difference.
I was coming to that only. Here, can we blame our genes for not working out and being lazy? Like, तो genes में ही है.
ऐसे नहीं, genes are just 40-50% of the story. The rest of the story is our story, what we do with our genes.
Yeah.
And we can totally change it. In fact, I'm really excited about new longevity studies that are saying that, you know, we can also, you know, have a high quality of life even as you grow older. So we don't have to follow that typical abhi main retire ho gayi hu kind of attitude. You know?
Yeah.
That,
Okay, so
yeah.
since you know teenagers and like younger people have a higher metabolism, what is the best proportion of meal for them? So like 3 meals a day or like small portions throughout the day? What would you
See, I
like?
think these teenagers who are just sitting around and doing more social media than is required and have a very high metabolic rate. I'm not so sure about that. But yes, till 25, if you are going to eat healthily, whatever ghar ka khana is there for the most part, less packaged foods, minimize packaged foods, minimize in fast foods. If you're going to minimize that, and you're going to really go and get a nice game of football for 3 to 4 hours, you don't really have a worry, because you know you have to eat according to your senses. So a time I think teenagers have to spend, because they're growing so fast, they need a lot of nutrition. it's a huge growth spurt because teenagers are still, attaining maximum, they're in the stage in the middle of puberty, they're attaining their maximum height, or, the whole maximum structure is coming alive. And they should not be dieting, in my opinion, at that time at all. So they should be eating good, wholesome ghar ka khana without worrying about the quantity and the quality. And what they should also be doing is learning to listen to their hunger. We totally bypass hunger as we grow older, and that has become, according to me, a huge reason why people don't know when to start eating, when to stop eating, and everything is, gone for a toss. And when anything goes for a toss, the body starts to store fat.
Yeah, okay. So we have a community question. Shagufta
Yeah.
wants to know, should teenagers take a vitamin supplement to meet their energy level?
I would not. Why would they? A supplement is given to people who, who are not able to consume as much food as they should. I mean, teenagers should be able to eat healthily. Of course, if they have a deficiency, yes. So if a doctor says that there is a deficiency of some kind, iron or calcium or whatever, then under doctor supervision, I would recommend teenagers to get that supplementation, not the way adults tend to take it. Because see, as adults, we don't really need to, we don't have any metabolic stress to grow anymore. We have attained whatever we need to attain in terms of our structure and our health. So if we have to take a supplement, is because the wear and tear has increased in our body. So that's not the case with teenagers. I would not recommend them to be dependent on supplements, but rather on their behaviors. How active are they? I mean, they can really be so active. They can swim in the morning, they can play in the evening, they can have 3 or 4 nice healthy nachni rotis and a lot of paneer ki sabzi and chaat, and they aloo chaat. They can eat all of those things, and they must.
Yeah. Okay. Is following a very low calorie diet the best way to lose weight?
No.
Okay. So
The thing is, we have a certain BMR, that means we have a basal metabolic rate, that is the rate at which our body burns calories at rest. So if you're going to be active, if you're going to be active, then the body burns calories for your energy levels to give you the energy. But on the other hand, if you're not active and you're sick, the same number of calories will also be burned. And how? If you're not going to eat enough, your body will break down these muscles and tissues to give you that energy that you need, because the body is hell bent on keeping us fit and alive. The body's not going to give up on you. So if you don't give it the food through the calories that you need to give it, then you will steal your own calories. That's I mean, that's maybe a little bit of a clue to what my book is about. You will end up stealing your own calories from your own body, because the work just get done. Yeah.
Okay, I want to know, there are people who are suffering from PCOD and PCOS. How do they manage their nutrition? Like what they're eating, how do they manage that? Is there something that they should like completely avoid eating? Or should there be a mix of exercise and what they're eating? How do they manage that?
For PCOD, and like PCOD and any other condition, the processed, packaged, sedentary lifestyle has to be just shut off completely.
Yeah.
They have to have at least 3 to 4 solid meals every day. And, they need to have a good amount of vegetable greens. They have to have foods that are, healthy for the liver. And it really varies from case to case. But basically, it is that really healthy diet that is going to help them get all the nutrients so that all the body's processes start working well. They improve their insulin sensitivity, and that has to happen with a lot of exercise. So they need to get that aerobic exercise as well as weight training, because weight training is one of the things that helps to improve insulin sensitivity and bone health.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're into Pilates also, and I want to talk about that. But firstly, there are a lot of, celebrities and Bollywood people who share their diets. And there are like so many YouTube videos that we see, okay, Alia Bhatt's eating this, Shilpa Shetty is eating this. Do you think it's okay to follow such diets? Like, should we follow those diets or no?
That's a really good question. We have to follow a diet based on our life goals. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So life goals for our celebrities. I mean, for them, they are doing it because, you know, they have to look healthy, energetic, not just look good, but they have to look healthy and energetic. And we look up to them to look that way. But the thing is that, you know, it's possible that celebrities would have to do things, with a shortcut approach, and, you know, many things we really don't know. We can't comment on that. But I think that if you use your intelligence, and if Alia Bhatt or anybody else is going to be saying eat lots of vegetables and that's a good thing, then you take that on, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
But, and you know, they might spend a lot of long hours in exercising, because it's like an athlete, like a football player also will spend a lot of time exercising and practicing football. So his requirements are quite different. But what we have to take from these people is their focus on being healthy and being fit. And I really like it that our Bollywood celebrities are spending so much time on health to look good. So we take that part of it, but we have to internalize it according to ourselves and what our goal is,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And
Cool.
and then it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, like, this is just like a beginners for Pilates. I want to know, like, basic information. Tell me, what is Pilates? How is it different from other exercises like yoga, since it's for posture?
Right. So Joseph Pilates, who's the founder of Pilates, started Pilates. I mean, he's a German, and he was an ailing youngster. So he had a rickets and tuberculosis and lots of things, but he had a special gift for exercising and fitness. And what he did was, when he was a youngster, he learned yoga, he learned martial arts, he learned circus training, and he learned all of these things. And he put it all together in a unit of exercise for himself that has about 7 or 8 basic principles. The first one being centering, working with the core, and doing diaphragmatic breathing, getting the ears over the shoulder, shoulder over the hip, hip over the knees, knees over the ankles. Standing that way is very difficult for us to do that, and exercising with a lot of focus on your and your internal body part, on your, the way you hold yourself, every part of your skeletal system, your shoulders and everything. So he really worked a system around that, and he perfected it in with the Nazi in the Nazi era. So he used to train the prisoners of war on these hospital beds with springs, and that's how the reformer has been made. It is an exercise system which has springs on it. But mat Pilates is also fabulous. It has a lot of yoga in it. Primarily, it has 15 movements which can be done in various different ways, but with a lot of focus on how you're doing the movement. So, for instance, you're not just going to mindlessly do this, but you'll really focus on inhale, exhale, and slow control, take it in, take it out. And that creates a lot of muscle memory, coordination, and it is beautiful. Yes. So,
Okay,
that
so
is what.
how does one get into Pilates? Like, can anybody do Pilates, or do you need
Anybody,
some, like, do you need to, like, I don't know what, how do we
anybody,
start?
when the first class will be about the basics, and everybody, we have, the human mind can learn anything at any age and
Yeah.
anything. So if you put your mind to it, anyone can really do it. There's absolutely no problem. And Pilates is actually so good for the nervous system as well. And I think it's beautiful, when you're feeling stressed or something, to add a Pilates routine to your workout. Yes.
Can Pilates help you lose weight also, or is this just for posture?
The way we are doing it now, it's going to make you aware of your core. And when you learn to do Pilates, you take that learning to the weight training, you take it to the running. So, you maximize your calorie burn in those areas as well.
Okay.
So we separate too many things. Everything is so beautifully integrated.
Okay,
So
I'm
we
going
need
to
to
take
look.
a last question from the community. Can Pilates help you in back pain?
It can definitely.
It can?
But
Okay.
you have to do it very mindfully, because Pilates is all about maintaining a neutral spine. You see, I guess maybe one day I can show all this to you. It's about maintaining your neutral spine so that you don't have too much of an arch, or you don't have a caved in body. And when you
Yeah.
maintain neutral spine and strengthen the muscles around that neutral posture, you tend to alleviate your back pain.
Okay, is there something that we can do to improve our posture anyway and not do Pilates, like something at home that we can practice to, just like sit
Look in
straight and
the
not
mirror.
slouch?
Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and see if your ear is over your shoulder, not here. So, like, see, if your ear has to be over your shoulder. It should be
Okay.
there. A lot of there. Okay, you keep your ear over your shoulder, the shoulder over the hip, not
Yeah.
forward, not rounded. Keep the shoulder over the hip and adjust. Get a neutral spine. Don't have too much of an arch, and you try to stay like that. Try to stay like that. And when you stay like that, then you sort of raise your arms to the side and back without moving, and you learn that. Yeah, there's one more thing. I've also studied trampolining. I have so trampolining is particularly good for the PCOS and people who have thyroid problems.
What is trampoline? I think of it as like that jumping thing or no?
It is a fitness trampoline, so you don't have to
Okay.
like jump really high, but
Okay.
the bounce and stuff is really good to again do a lot of good things for the lymphatic system. Where we get lymphatic system gets circulated about 30 times, and most of the infections and stuff in the body are stuck in the lymph. So trampolining is really nice as well.
Okay, those were all my questions, but I want you to still tell our viewers, Ekbar, why should they do Pilates? Why is it helpful? Why should they do why should they do Pilates? Tell me that.
So see, the thing is, my exercise routine is like 3 times a week weight training and twice a week Pilates, because Pilates gets your mind and body focused on your internal your skeletal structure, your entire skeleton, and how you hold yourself. And posture is everything. We tend to relegate posture to some corner of our health, but when our posture is right, then we are able to breathe well, we carry ourselves well, we don't have repetitive stress injuries. And Pilates is this whole mind body kind of exercise method. It's almost meditative, when you do it really well. And when you now when you work out that way, you also engage your parasympathetic, or the quieter, the nervous system that brings in calm into your body and into your mind. And that's really important, in today's day and age. So I think Pilates has many tick boxes to it, from posture to muscle training to muscle memory to back health, flexibility of the spine, as well as control through the central nervous system.
Perfect. Thank you so much for doing this with us. It was really informational. I had a lot of fun listening to your story also, which was really, really inspiring. So thank you so much for doing this with us. To our viewers, there's a lot of content on famhealth.in/community and our social media that you can find on health, nutrition, food recipes, a lot of other things. So please tune in. Thank you, Madhuri, again for doing this with us.
Welcome. I was totally delighted. Hope to see you soon.
Same here. Okay.
See you. Bye.